I recently came across a top-secret document from the 1940s that honestly made me stop and say, wait a minute. For almost 80 years, the public was made to feel crazy for asking questions about UFOs, aliens, and non-human intelligence. But they were discussing the same topic behind closed doors back then. Even the language sounds incredibly close to what we hear today. And once I got to page 3, well, that's when the story really took a turn. The document was circulated through U.S. Air Force intelligence channels in 1948, just 1 year after Roswell and 1 year after Kenneth Arnold's sighting launched the modern flying saucer era. The file references intelligence traffic identified as TT-1524 and includes markings connected to OI and OB. Researchers believe OI stood for Office of Intelligence, while OB referred to a branch responsible for evaluating offensive or foreign aerial threats. In other words, this wasn't just random paperwork. These reports were moving through military intelligence channels focused on advanced technology and national security concerns during the early Cold War. Some pages were classified confidential, while others were marked top secret. And one of the names connected to the file is General Charles P. Cabell. And that's important, because Cabell served as the Director of Intelligence for the U.S. Air Force and later became Deputy Director of the CIA. Meaning these discussions were happening at very high levels of military intelligence. At first glance, the file reads like a Cold War investigation into strange aerial phenomena. Unknown craft, possible foreign technology, and potential Soviet advancement. But then you get to page 3. And here is where the tone changes. The document references reports coming out of Sweden involving unexplained aerial objects and a mysterious crater discovered in a lake. Witnesses reportedly observed strange objects moving through the sky before the crater was found. And according to the file, the reports were taken seriously enough that a Navy salvage team was reportedly sent into the lake to investigate. Now think about that for a second. Officials apparently believed there was enough credibility to the story to launch an actual recovery effort, not just dismiss it as imagination, not laugh it off, a salvage operation. The lake connected to the incident became associated with what are now called the ghost rocket sightings in Sweden during the 1940s, where hundreds of witnesses reported strange missile-like objects moving silently across the sky. Some were described as metallic and others reportedly maneuvered in ways witnesses couldn't explain. And these objects, well, they sound a lot like the tic-tac objects we see today. Then came reports that one of the objects may have crashed into a remote lake. Investigators searched for debris and divers examined the area, but according to the report, nothing definitive was officially recovered. And honestly, that may be what makes the entire event even stranger, because despite no confirmed public explanation, the incident was still discussed through classified intelligence channels. Then the language inside the file becomes even more unsettling, because instead of fully dismissing the phenomenon, the discussion appears to entertain the possibility that some of these objects represented technology beyond known human capability. According to the report, when officers of the Directorate visited the Swedish Air Intelligence Service, they asked them their thoughts on the phenomenon. Their answer was that some reliable and fully technically qualified people have reached the conclusion that, and I quote, "These phenomena are obviously the result of a high technical skill which cannot be credited to any presently known culture on Earth." The report goes on to say that they therefore assume that the objects originate from some previously unknown or unidentified technology, possibly outside the Earth. Now keep in mind, this was happening in the 1940s, long before modern disclosure hearings, long before non-human biologics, long before mainstream discussions about non-human intelligence. And yet, the thinking sounds shockingly familiar. That's the part nobody talks about. For decades, ordinary people were mocked for believing this stuff. Witnesses were ridiculed, pilots were ignored, and families were made to feel delusional for even discussing UFOs seriously. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, government intelligence officials appear to have been asking many of the exact same questions themselves. Maybe they didn't fully know. Maybe they were simply trying to understand something they couldn't explain yet. And in my opinion, that understanding didn't come until the 1950s, which we will discuss in another video. But they clearly weren't dismissing it the way the public was taught to dismiss it. And honestly, that may be the most disturbing part of it all. Because it makes you wonder, what conversations are happening behind closed doors today that the public is still being told sounds crazy right now?
How do we explain this to the public? We don't.
Thank you for watching, and thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. I see all of your comments, likes, and shares, and honestly, it means a lot to me. Your support truly helps keep these videos going. If there's a specific file, case, or topic you'd like to see covered in a future video, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you'd like to support the channel and help these videos continue, you can find the support links in the channel description. Once again, thank you for being here. Until next time, keep looking up.